It's story time! I'm Ann from the National Air and Space Museum, and I'm here to bring some of our museum stories to you at home. Have you ever built a model airplane? Zoom! It's fun to build a model airplane, and some of them can even fly. Here's a model airplane kit from the museum. The plane had a rubber band inside that would wind up when you spun the propeller. That would make the plane fly after you let it go. You can still buy kits like this and build model airplanes. A model is pretty cool, but did you know that you can build an airplane at your home that you can actually fly? The idea of building your own airplane is as old as flying itself, and we have a few examples of home-built airplanes in the collection at the National Air and Space Museum. One of my favorites is the Crosley Flying Flea from 1933. What does it remind you of? I think it looks a little bit like a car on the bottom. Another airplane was designed by Bert Rutan in the 1970s called the Very Easy. It used foam, like the kind that coolers or packing material is made out of. That material is easy to cut into a shape, and then it can be covered with fiberglass to make it strong. Home-built airplanes like this come in kits with plans designed so that people can actually build an airplane right in their own garage or in a small airport near their house. There's even a home-built helicopter. If you were going to build a plane, which design would you choose? I wonder what it would be like to build an airplane in your home. Here's a story about that. Once upon a time, there were 3 friends who liked to go fast. They were Millie, Ruth, and Lou. One day, they were out on their scooters and they passed by Sebastian's house. Sebastian was in his garage working with some tools. "Hey, what are you doing?" asked Ruth. "I'm building an airplane with my pop. We got a kit and we're working on a plane together. We'll be able to really fly when we're finished," answered Sebas. "Wow, that's amazing, Seb," said Lou. "We should build an airplane too," said Millie. "Sure," replied Sebastian. "It's fun, and I'd be happy to help." So the friends scooted back and started to plan at their tea party. "I don't want to wait to buy a kit. Let's make our plane out of stuff we already have. I have an old bicycle we can use," said Lou. "I have some big rectangles of packing foam from the new lawn chairs my folks ordered," said Millie. "I'll get the glue and tape and some tools," said Ruth. They brought all the stuff that they thought they could use together and started thinking, what should the airplane look like? Millie said, "I know how to make a paper airplane." She folded some paper and then launched the plane. It soared around the yard. They all folded paper airplanes and had a contest to see which one would fly the farthest. Millie's flew the farthest, but Ruth's did a loop. "The airplane will need wings," said Ruth. "I think this packing material would make good wings. It's very light. And we can also use it to make a tail," said Lou. Millie's brother Mo came by with some broken lawn chairs. "Do you think you could use these?" "Good idea, Mo. We need seats in the plane," said Millie. The 3 friends and Mo started working, and soon they had something that looked pretty much like a real airplane. They had bicycle wheels for landing gear, foam packing material made the wings and the tail, and the old lawn chairs for seats. They sat in the seats and imagined where they would fly. "I'd like to go to the beach," said Millie, "maybe to an island way out on the ocean." Mo pretended to surf on a wave. "Yeah, and let's go to the mountains," said Lou. "That would be super cool." Ruth said, "It would be amazing to fly somewhere where we could see animals in the wilderness like elephants and tigers." "These are all great ideas, but we're not getting anywhere in our plane," said Millie. Wings, seats, tail. What else do we need to make our airplane go?" They high-fived and said together, "An engine!" But where could they get an engine? They didn't have any old engines that no one was using. Mo spun the pedals on the bicycle and watched the gears move around. Said Lou. "The pedals and gears make the bicycle go. Our scooters go when we push with our feet. Maybe we could push the airplane to make it go." They all got behind the plane and tried to push it. The airplane rolled a little, but it didn't go up in the air. They went off to have another tea party and think about it some more. The next time they came back to work on the plane, Ruth remembered that she had seen a toy that used a wound-up rubber band to make it go. Millie thought that they could attach some wooden spoons to the rubber bands to make a propeller. They tried it, but the wooden spoons and rubber bands just went flying everywhere. Lou said, "Let's ask Sebastian." They scooted over to Sebastian's garage and saw that his airplane was nearly complete. Ruth said, "Wow, Sebas, your plane looks wonderful. We're making a plane too, but we don't have an engine. Do you have any ideas?" Sebastian answered, "Well, an engine is kind of expensive. Maybe you could use this old fan." The girls thanked Sebas and returned to try the fan on the plane. It spun and blew air, but it didn't have enough power to get them off the ground. Plus, it had to be plugged in, which was another problem. The extension cord wasn't long enough to let them fly very far. They decided to sleep on it and come back another day. The next week, while they were working, Sebas came back to check on them. "How's it going? Did the fan work as an engine?" "No, but it's okay. We kind of just like tinkering with it," said Millie, and they all realized it was true. Tinkering around and trying to figure out how to make the airplane work was almost as much fun as flying. Sebastian said, "Do you want to go for a ride in our new airplane? It's finally ready, and my pop said you could come up with us." "Yes," they all said, and they gave him a high five. It's craft time. Today we're going to make an airplane that you can tinker with and try and see if you can make it really fly. Here's one that I made out of a tube. It has wings, a tail, and then this part of it, you can slide it forward or back to see how that works. You can add different things onto it, to the wings to make it longer, and even these parts can be used as the weight to slide it in and out and see if that changes how it flies. I think it's a really fun craft, so I'm going to try it out. All you need for this craft is a tube, you need some paper, and then you need your scissors and your tape. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is get some paper, and for the wings today, I used a heavier weight paper like a cardstock paper, or you could put two pieces of paper together. And I just folded over one piece of cardstock, and then I'm using half of that for the wing. I'm going to attach that to this, and remember that I was able to slide that up and down. So the way that I'm doing that is I'm adding a strip of piece of paper right on the back and attaching it with some tape, and that will allow us to slide our wings back and forth and test out how they do in different positions on the airplane. Maybe your airplane will do surprising things when you test it. So I just added a piece of tape here on one side, and on the other it's a little bit too loose, so I'm going to add another piece of tape so that it doesn't slide quite so much. I want it to stay mostly in place. There we go. Now it stays up, but it also can slide. So I'm going to start out with it right at the top like that. And you're still going to need a tail. So we're going to make our tail just like we did before, where we cut out heart shapes. And I'm going to cut out heart shape from this cardstock. I cut two at a time, folded it up, so I got two at once. And I'm going to use the heart shape at the back of the airplane for the tail. So far, this is pretty similar to what we did for our Bessie Coleman airplane when we made the biplane. But this one is only going to have one set of wings. I'm just going to add a little bit more tape. I'm taping the tail on right now. There. Now we have the tail sticking up, and we have the wings, and the wings slide. What do you think? Do you think this will fly? Now, all I did for the other parts was I took some more paper And I thought, well, I wonder what would happen if I have a little bit of something to give it some weight in the front. So I'm taking a piece of paper and I'm just rolling it up, putting that right in the front. That way I can make it have a little bit longer and have a little bit more weight. You can do the same thing in the back. And then I took some paper and I thought I would try, and maybe it would be better and work differently if I had a little bit longer wings. So if you want to make your wings longer, you don't have to take it off. You can just add those longer wings to the wings that you already have by taping them on. Plus, it adds another color, and that's kind of fun too. So I just cut out shapes, some rectangles, and I'm going to attach those right onto my wing by taping them. I taped it here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side to keep it pretty symmetrical. There. I wonder what will happen with this. This one, the wings are sort of downturned. And then this one, the wings are sort of up. Which one do you think will be the better flyer? You have to try it yourself. Thanks for joining us. Try it out, and you can share your crafts with us at Aerospace at Home, or tag us on Facebook. We'd love to see what you create. And thanks for joining us for Craft Time. Bye-bye.